It's really good.
But I think it's the second time you've asked if a Chinese team actually plays a Broodmother.
I was even better this game.
When was the last time you saw maybe play Brood?
Not that long ago, actually. I think he has played it this year.
Okay.
A couple of times even, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's the best pick. But they, it's again, do they like it? Is this how their team wants to play? If it's not, you can easily get something else, right?
Well, it's going to be Terrorblade.
So it is a mid gyro still. Okay. So they'll pick the Terrorblade. Good against Lifestealer. It was what Liquid tried to do against, who was it they were facing when they played the Terrorblade yesterday?
Oh, come on, brain.
Was it actually mineski?
No, it was the Lotus Orb Reflect.
That was mineski.
Bug.
Wasn't that Raging Potato playing the Mirana? And the Ogre was KP? Right?
Right? I remember Miracle getting the bounce back on the Terrorblade.
I think the Lifestealer in that game was Nico Big. I'm pretty sure it was mineski that they played that game against.
I remember watching a Liquid Terrorblade.
Yes,
that happened, and
yes,
now that with the bounce back Lotus.
That's already good enough for you.
Yeah, let's just go for that
good,
one. That's
good.
great. Yeah, we remember one game out of something.
He played Terrorblade against Lifestealer, and they picked it largely for that reason. And it was against the exact same core duo, as a matter of fact. It was against Lifestealer and the Death Prophet. So LGD have the same read that this is a good pick against it. They will end up putting the gyro mid for this reason, and I don't think that's a favored matchup for maybe for once. I think Death Prophet should have a slight edge in this match. Matchup in mid. So perhaps this time around, mineski can get off to a slightly better start in lanes, and this time they have more play potential, it feels like. So. Who ended up picking the Wind Ranger?
Support.
Raging Potato?
Potato.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do. So Ogre is played by KP.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I think these are the best ways they can distribute the heroes in this game.
Yeah, it feels nice. Everyone feels like they're on very much comfort style heroes as well. Like Moon is a very easy to execute Death Prophet for him in mid. Like Ninja Boogie's Grimstroke, up towards top Nico Baby's Lifestealer, and then they're going to run the dual offlane with Raging Potato. He always seems to have these quirky supports that get to help in the offlane. He'll play Wind Ranger working with KP. FY Rubik, I'm just so happy to I actually kind of wait for a game where FY gets to play a Rubik against Phoenix again, just to see if we get to have that great moment once more. X-Nova's Bane, in towards mid for Arme. He won't stay there, though. Oh, maybe he will stay there. Somnus has the Gyrocopter, and right now they are just hovering and just, well, spinning on the spot.
There are actually so many player-hero combinations in this game. Like, favorite heroes or some of their best heroes. Like, in a way, you could argue that LGD are like, all 5 players are on one of their 5 best heroes, I think, right now.
It does really feel that way.
The only one you're a little bit hesitant about is Maybe, because I feel like he has so many other heroes that he's really good at than Gyro as well, and it's not the most picked mid hero, but everybody else, look at the heroes they're playing.
Yeah.
It's like very much comfort zone.
So it's going to be a 2-2 rune trade out, and Terrorblade will stay up on top. Do you think that icon on my screen looks so much like an SF? It does not look like a Terrorblade.
Oh, that kind of looks like Terrorblade. When you see the horns, right?
This is the horns that make him stand out.
Yeah.
Also, that set looks really cool. I think I like the Arcana wings, though, a little bit better. Because it's still an Arcana.
There's no Arcana wings. You mean Immortal?
Yeah,
Does he have Immortal wings? I don't play Terrorblade.
Wait, no, he has Arcana wings, right?
The Arcana equip. It's a chest item, I think. He has the Arcana equip. Oh, now he's running across the map. They got mind-gamed.
They thought they had the lane they wanted. Hey, they're just really running FY as the real one. That's what's happening here.
mineski were the first ones to identify the lanes and swap them around, and because of that they get a little bit of a head start here with Nico already sitting in the bottom lane, whereas Terrorblade has to walk all the way, and now he's going to be laning with Tide? Wait.
No. He'll... Like, the Tide will TP to the top lane to go against KP. Swap. Yeah, they can just TP out.
They can just swap again, then.
Well, the Bane's TPing down at bottom lane. I suppose this is the time to trigger out your Metamorphosis and go for a kill over towards Raging Potato. With the Gusher out, Raging Potato, that heavy damage really does arrive. And first blood is spilt with LGD's rotation.
I think Tide might stay bottom and they play him as a 4 for a while and let FY play offlane. Because the reason is if they start switching the lanes, okay, never mind. Now there's a play of switching the lanes around. If mineski really want a different lane matchup, they can do it. The only one who TP'd bottom was Windranger, so they can send the Ogre down here to lane against Terrorblade if that is what they were trying to avoid with this lane swap.
I'm loving this from Ninja Boogie. He's waiting for the perfect line to get the first stun. Shackles up, perfect chain stuns, and X-Nova will die in the bottom lane. So it's all about the kills on the bottom, but it's also all about the Rubik getting so much CS.
You've got to be careful as Terrorblade in this lane. It's pretty dangerous.
Especially when your Metamorphosis is down, you got nothing that really dissuades Nico from attacking in deeper.
It's Terrorblade's biggest nightmare in laning stage is high magic damage heroes. He has high armor but low health, so spells that deal a lot of damage are a big problem. And he's playing against one of the strongest right now, which is Grimstroke. When the Inkswell hits level 2, you see the Stroke of Fate already taking like 15 or 20% off his health when it travels through only one creep. There's the other spell, Power Shot, taking another 20% off him. Gotta be careful.
And keep your eyes towards mid. Homing missiles coming in, but FY, he'll have to walk underneath their dire Observer Ward to actually have a crack towards Moon. But maybe they have enough. They have to get away from the creep wave so the full rocket barrage connects on Moon. FY picks him up, throws him back down again, and they have the damage. I don't think Moon actually saw him, or else he probably would have run south. But instead he tried to go straight back up to his TPing in Wind Ranger, but it just wasn't fast enough.
Maybe it was losing the lane. He was losing the lane pretty hard even, and now they're even. If you get a kill mid and it equalizes the lane, it shows how far behind you were in minute 3.
And FY making most of that extra farm he got, because he's gone for the 1-2, so it's really easy to get that fast burst damage, and he's almost got arcane boots.
Yep, 8 CS from top lane plus that kill. Very nice for him.
And Ty just gets to play the top lane against Ogre quite safely too.
That's a super easy lane for Tide.
Well, they're going open wounds. There's your stroke. Ragey Potato waiting for the right line to get the shackle off, but no one's lining up for it. Yes, I think he's still a little bit worried about what X-Nova can do to him once they put the Nightmare down. Just messing with target selection.
Bane is very good against Grimstroke's Inkswell. It's relatively easy to time the Nightmare against the explosion, and that will keep the Terrorblade safe for the majority of this laning stage.
I may just burn some Metamorphosis, trying to get something out of this lane. It's kind of hilarious though when you watch both the supports of mineski just walk away. Nico still stands right in front of the tier 1 tower, farming up. Like he just doesn't fear anything that comes his way. You can just rage and walk it off.
Yep, he's pretty safe down here, but at the same time, if Terrorblade is happy farming, it's kind of the hero you want the gold on a bit more overall.
I thought for a moment Ragey Potato was just going to go quickly for the shackle, followed with the Inkswell. You've got so much chain stun that can happen.
Nightmare.
Yeah, again, yeah, Nightmare.
But I like the idea of trying, honestly. I think they should be playing more aggressively. There we go. They're going to go on the Bane.
They're trying to do a lot of work before the 5-minute bounty runes are going to spawn up. KP was able to grab the ones up on top, but this will still be a 2 for 2.
3 for 1, right?
Yeah, 3 for 1.
KP got 1. Chalice and KP are pretty much hand in hand on farm. KP's a little bit ahead, mainly because he arrived to the lane a bit earlier, I think. Or because Chalice had to rotate and TP.
Yep.
He lost a little bit from the bottom lane in the beginning.
Chalice still got some decent CS up on top. It was actually kind of hilarious watching the two highest farmed heroes having both FY as well as Chalice in the top lane against KP. They want to go in again in mid. I'm keeping my eye on item drops this time around. Not going to miss like the arcane drop yesterday. And FY, well, Ragey Potato's found him in the trees. Moon starts to Spirit Siphon, and FY just has to throw him away with the shackle. Ragey Potato lined himself up nicely. FY begins his TP out knowing that the stun's already been used.
Moon didn't have enough mana for another Crypt Swarm. When he used the Siphon, he ran out of the mana. Really nice TP. And yeah, sure, you don't succeed in your own mid move, but you also don't get killed by the enemy team's move, so it's kind of breaks even. And he was in a very awkward position there on the Rubik.
Feels nice just when you waste the time of a Death Prophet, waste abilities of the Death Prophet.
Yep.
Gyrocopter actually started moving towards the top lane like he wanted to fight, but it's not going to happen. Tide is the #1 net worth on the field, just completed a Vladimir's.
And if he wasn't invincible before against this Ogre, now he is.
Yeah.
Every creep wave, he can just heal massively from Anchor Smash. He has got 5 tangos and a salve still. It's like, KP hasn't even bothered. It's like, whatever, man. I can't do anything to this guy. They're just hitting creeps. And now he's been overtaken by Chalice, finally.
And Ame is having... it's not the funnest game for him. His net worth's not looking too shabby, but when you're forced all the way back into the jungle and you're leaving ex-Nova to battle against Nico...
They kind of want that. It's more effective. It's similar to what we talked about in the last game, right? Where it's nice if you have wave-clearing heroes and you can put your cores jungle. This is not the same logic that Bane is not a wave-clear hero.
They're going after KP. Homing missiles coming in. FY is going to be right there too. TP support is on the way. And Chalice, he's holding the Ravage. And yeah, in fact, I think at this point, LGD would have loved if that second TP completed. Because then it would have actually been worthwhile just burning the Ravage.
But the reason you do this bottom is not because Terrorblade is having an awful time. It's because it's the highest efficiency play, right? You get Bane a lot of experience while Terrorblade can jungle effectively. And even if Bane dies here, this is still... I still think it's the right move to put the Terrorblade in the jungle.
And he's going to Nightmare, move back, salve up quickly inside the tree lines. Name's arrived.
Even survives.
Yeah.
No problem.
You're right.
I don't think Ame will stay here very long. I think he's going to clear some creeps and then go back into the jungle again and let X-Nova take the lane. Because Terrorblade, if you have a free lane bottom, like you get a little more efficiency out of farming the lane than the jungle, but it's not much. But for Bane, this makes a huge difference for his game. If he gets to get solo experience in the safe lane, it's so much nicer than if you're just protecting a Terrorblade who's farming anyway. Like, you're not making that big of a difference for him. And you see Ame is already rotating again.
And they're all coming towards mid with Chalice as well. Moon already used the exorcism to take a lot of the life of the tier 1 tower in mid.
Yep, got a lot out of that.
But they won't get their own pushback. So wrapping around through the rear, Somnus and Chalice using that Fog of War. And Ninja Boogie and Moon, they're the closest ones. A quick silence out from Ninja Boogie, but Rocket Barrage was faster from Somnus. Already able to find that kill. And Moon, hey, that's some confidence to throw that Crypt Swarm out when LGD are on the hunt. Ragey Potato's running up the river too. Homing missile will come his way. He's going to go to the Radiant side.
He's dead.
Starts his TP out. That's done. Will actually connect. Call down. Everything that maybe he has just to ensure the kill happens.
I think he survives if he instant TPs on the Windrunner instead of running away first. The homing missile catches up to you faster than if you try to TP out.
Either way, it's now 5-1 in front for LGD. Experience and gold both their way. I think Ame's lining himself up to add a little bit more pressure towards the bottom. That's why they're trying to establish some vision control, but Ninja Boogie and KP are there to stop it.
Yeah, now that his treads are coming out, he's hitting a pushing timing. Look, he's a full level ahead of Lifestealer now on Terrorblade.
Well, Lifestealer always had somebody else with him. Like Terrorblade got into the jungle, now Moon. Homing missile, here we go again. Curry doesn't have much to bring in. Had some boots. Rocket Barrage does his work. Charles will land the Gush and the Ravage, clipping Moon on the edge, but it bought just enough time for Somnus to get another. Another Rocket Barrage off. Yeah, it may not have been essential. But I think LGD is sending a message to mineski.
In the meantime, Bane was in the middle of nowhere. Pulled a lot of attention toward himself and got killed, but he got his ward down earlier.
And this little sucker up here.
Yep. It's been there for a good minute and a half. That's unlikely to get dewarded this early on in the game. And once again, it's just the game plan from LGD progressing nicely. They did a very good job in their laning stage, especially the rotation from FY into mid was huge. And it makes mineski a little bit forced to do something here. So they're going to go for this bottom T1 tower. Multicast Midas.
It does not look like FY wants to have anything to do with the defense without the Ravage. So Chalice and X-Nova, they move towards mid instead. Ninja Boogie's trying to soak up a little experience. And they'll work with Ame to beat into the tower. Chalice needs to be the tank for Ame. And he's very happy to do that with the Vlads, and there you go. Nightmare to begin this. Somnus in through the rear. Multicast from KP, causing problems for X-Nova, but better from Somnus. But he's shackled up at the moment. Now the flat cannon damage will start to spill out, and their attention moves towards KP. Moving down with Ragey Potato, but playing around these trees is great for the Wind Ranger. But this wasn't even a full commitment from LGD. It ended up being a 1-for-1 trade-off on the supports with the tier 1 tower. But FY is not committing. He's farming up bottom lane. Yep. This guy's got Neath lens already.
They got the mid tower for the safe lane tower. That's a good trade, especially if they can defend their own mid tower now. But mineski are looking to get that collateral. The ping coming out from Tide, but I think it's already too late. Oh, maybe not. There's Glyph too.
Yeah, they got Fortification. You don't have Metamorphosis, however, so Terrorblade's not really a big fighter. But X-Nova with a Nightmare can potentially set up. Great silence into the trees, so Moon makes sure there isn't any kind of follow-up, but now maybe that damage output. They have to keep the stuns going, so you can't just keep getting the flat cannon damage out. Shackle won't be able to connect from Ragey Potato, and FY with the Soul and Crypt Swarm does so much damage combining with the Fade Bolt. They're able to get through Ninja Boogie. No other stuns to keep mineski in position, and Grimstroke has 3 deaths now. 2 of them in the last minute.
And they held the tower. They can deny it if they want LGD, which would be another victory. But they could also hold on to it for its strategic position. Is the primary reason you really want to hold this mid tower over the other towers, the access point.
Feed scripts available.
In the game.
Nico has to back up. If he comes anywhere near that Bane, he'll die instantly. But all they see is KP in mid lane. Alright, now Nico's out a long way. But Bane can't make the run without revealing himself. The creep wave's cutting across. And mineski will come under the cover of smoke towards the top lane. And now Charles will find his targets. Moon wants to start. They put out the first silence. This one comes from Ninja Boogie. Just trying to walk it off Charles. And he's able to do so. Break him free. Now is X-Nova, who's in a little bit of trouble. Starts the Nightmare over on Death Prophet, but that just isolates the support to die. One quick multicast, and Ragey Potato is able to also shackle Rubik to complete his TP out on bottom lane.
And that's a relatively low impact smoke from mineski, right? They wanted to get into this jungle and try to find a core kill, but they end up getting only the Bane. Tide gets away, and they don't find the D ward on the big camp that has been placed. There has been a ward placed by the Bane. A very interesting aggressive ward here, by the way. Very unusual one. It sees very little, but also very unlikely to get dewarded. It's outside of the box, so it doesn't block the camp.
And normally you cut the tree up on the top and then put the observer ward down, so you get the hillside vision. LGD, smoke up of their own now. FY doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but he's got enough for a telekinesis. They use the drums, get the pick up, into the call down. Grimstroke and Moon both being caught out inside of this. Ninja Boogie does not have the life to survive, and the homing missile will kill off Moon. And this quick execution from LGD. And bare bones mana FY, but with Ether Lens and telekinesis level 3, he's got a good grab range.
And maybe he's already thinking about bottom, but he's waiting for his homing missile to come off cooldown. He didn't see him.
He didn't. Juked around the tree line. X-Nova's finding better targets. Nico as well as KP. Nightmare's already out. FY with a Soul and Fire Blast. They got the extra stun. Arme has Sunder available. Great shackle for Ragey Potato. And they get the double Soulbind. Terrorblade, he can't Sunder while the silence exists. Ninja Boogie will claim the double kill. What a great shackle from Nico to set this all up.
Yeah, great job, Nico. Good shackle.
See that one in slow-mo in just a second.
Nico's playing lifesteal.
Yeah. Sorry. Ragey Potato. You know what I'm saying. Shush you. Goodbye, KP. Well, all that great work now potentially going to waste. Charles still has the Ravage. Wasn't caught out by Moon's silence, so he can get the silence on all of them. But if they want to turn, yeah, they do. All 4 hit with the call down combined. Nico and Moon. Triple kill for Somnus and Ragey Potato and Ninja Boogie. They may be there just to give him the remaining ones. Homing missiles available. Ragey Potato TPing out in the tree lines. Ninja Boogie will not be so lucky. So there's the ultra kill for Somnus.
What was Moon expecting?
I don't know.
He kept running for the gyro with a Tide literally next to him. And got turned on. Man, mineski were kind of making a comeback here in this game. I'm saying comeback. They weren't that far behind.
Here's our moment from before with the shackle that comes from the Wind Ranger, Raging
Nice
Potato.
Shackle. He's holding the Fire Blast, waiting for the Soul Bind. Now he wants to do it. He gets stunned up first, but there's the multicast on both heroes in that Soul Bind. Very nicely done. Yeah, and this was super good for mineski. They were starting to fall a little bit behind the game, and you know the matchup of Terrorblade is very hard in this game. And then this overextension just lost them all that they gained and more.
Oh, here they go again. KP
again.
just being stun controlled. It's FY using his own abilities against him.
Man, they are dropping the ball hard right now. They're just dying for no gain.
Yeah, something's not
Over
right.
and over and over again.
Something is definitely not right. And FY's going to have a Blink Dagger real soon too. Once this arrives, like, I don't think there's any positioning that Mineski's able to win. You're getting your first combat item for Nico. It's taken a while because he went the hand of Midas. But actually, did he? He bought it, then he sold it. He had armlet, and then he sold it. And now he's actually going to die on bottom lane. The Phoenix Griffin from X Nova controls him.
Man, they just keep...
He was switching to Radiance, and yeah. It's like mineski are just not ready, and now FY walks in. Starts such a boogie. He's just sitting under the tier 2 tower after 3 heroes were looking for the hunt.
Hello? They just walk back 5 steps. Next guy comes in. Oh, they left. Next guy comes in. Oh, now they definitely left. Guys, they're not leaving. Okay? What is happening?
Oh, and Moon dies up on top.
Got
Ame.
soloed by Ame. This is all falling apart.
Yeah.
LGD with the chat wheel spam. They're feeling good right now. They know that mineski has given them a really big advantage now.
We'll go back into the armor on Lifestealer. It's like, okay, guys, maybe I'm not going to ever get my Radiance. We need to fight right now. He's still got Radiance queued up, though. God, they're just so far behind on all of their heroes. Like your Death Prophet, the one that has to stay alive in the fight. The only upside is she's got a Yule Scepter. Now's the play from mineski. Can they counter this? Power Shot gets good information. Roshan's still dying quickly. Raging Potato, does he? No, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. They can't jump in. They can't take Roshan. They can't steal anything. They can just watch it.
They gave the Aegis to Terrorblade. I thought they might give it to the Gyro. He's 11 and 0.
Yeah, but Jared is also completing on the BKB. So maybe they feel like he's got a lot more life in him. But then you've got Terrorblade with Manta 3 Wraith Bands. He's actually closing it with Skadi.
Yeah, man, Terrorblade's a transformation hero, though. I think when you have another carry in the game like the Gyro, that would have also been a really good Aegis.
You just bait with Chalice. Hey, Chalice, you just want to jump in there, see if you can get some abilities on you, make him fear your Ravage, suicide yourself off, and then come back and Ravage.
I would not have given it to the Tide, I think. No.
I'm just thinking this game's gotten so clowny right now that LGD can do anything they want with the Aegis and it won't matter.
But yeah, honestly, even putting it on Tide is not that bad. But I think it's about whether Gyro was better than Turbo. But either way, LGD know what they're doing. It's very apparent in this series that they're in really good shape. They're showing super good form in these 2 games. And mineski, you gotta hope for it. It's not in the miracle tier yet of what is needed here, but it's getting there.
Presumably there's a 9% win percentage that mineski can pull this off.
This is one of those games, we talked about this yesterday, how just looking at gold can be very misleading. Like some games you're 8k gold behind and you're winning, and other games you're 8k gold ahead and you're losing. And this is one of those games where you're 8k gold ahead and you're winning mega hard. Yeah. Because they have Terrorblade, Gyro, and the Tide as well, and they just have good matchups in this game, and they won their laning stage. So, Rubik, the Shackle misses.
Get out of range of the Sentry Ward. Charles will turn around and, alright, take the Focus Fire and send it straight back to Raging Potato.
That's some pitiful damage out of the Wind Ranger. That's one thing support Wind Ranger is bad at. Focus Fire is so bad.
X-Nova's waiting as long as he possibly can. He's going to Nightmare KP. He's buying time for the Tidehunter. Charles is on the way. So is the Terrorblade. Now Charles has arrived. KP has mech available. He'll move into the tree line. They don't have enough damage just to burn through him, so that's why they wanted to bait out the mech. And now Arme's arrived, they have the damage output, but they still need the vision. Chasing around the tree lines, KP's done his best job he possibly can. But the blink forward, Quelling Blade, that's actually not even have to cut through a tree just yet, but Arme, he's had enough of this. Metamorphosis up, find the kill.
They might go high ground here.
Well, Somnus just took the tier 2 tower in mid, so yeah, they are ready to go.
Yeah, they're definitely going. That's why he wasn't hesitating to use the meta, because it's the plan here was to make an aggressive move up top, and if they get a kill, they go high ground. They might do it anyway because they had Aegis. This fight is extremely hard for mineski. We saw some good base defense from them yesterday against Liquid, but first of all, I think LGD are playing at a higher level right now, but secondly, just strategically in this game, the matchup that they're facing right now and the way you have to initiate this fight is almost impossible. I think you have to try to silence the Tide with Grimstroke by soul binding him to someone, and then your DP has to come in from the back with ult and find kills.
I don't know if that's... Dude, I'm just waiting for FY to... FY's just going to rage and jump in. That's all he's going to do. And that is exactly what happens. Rage, jump in, get yourself a new steal if you want him. The cooldowns right now, this work. Ninja Boogie will die. Buyback will bring him back to life again. There's a lot of stuns into the Terrorblade. Sunder is available. And hey, KP, I'll take your life. Soul Bind as well as double silence is good. Manasar tries to break him free. Fiend's Grip, Life Stealer. He can't do any kind of damage until Moon will come in through the rear. But he didn't stop X Nova. It's a full duration Fiend's Grip over from the Life Stealer. A buyback will come in from him. But FY, he's given the Exorcism damage to return in towards Moon. That's why there's so many ghouls here. And Chalice, a 5-man Ravage. Everything gets hit. The Aegis Immortal will finally crack out. FY, alright, what do you want this time around? Blink in, he's trying to use the Ink Sword to control up, Ragey Potato up a little bit further up, able to do so. My god, this game is so totally over. mineski are being outclassed by LGD. They'll take out KP for 70 seconds, and GG is called.
Damn.
Took 23 minutes, but mineski will admit defeat. My god, LGD. This was a lot of class. No ass.
I think this is the most dominant series we've had.
Yeah.
LG played super well this series, both games. They're just destroying their opponent.